This was my first ever guitar amplifier, the Marshall Lead 12. I would refer to this as like a mini stack. It came with a little matching 1x10 bottom cabinet, so you have these two 1x10s and the mini head to distinguish it from the micro stack, the MS2, as made famous in School of Rock. So I've got the MS2 as well, so I've got the whole collection, right, of these mini Marshalls. And I have no idea when this came out. You guys can probably tell me in the comments, but yeah, when I started playing guitar as a kid, very briefly, my parents got me this amp, so A+ for wicked parenting there, because it's such a cool thing. It was so inspiring to have a stack when I was little. And then when I got into like playing guitar more seriously when I was 14 or 15, I started jamming on this with a Zoom 707, and believe me, I had all the tones. So I did a demo video of a bunch of, let's say, you know, more desirable Marshalls a little while ago, and I included this one in there, and a lot of people made the point that they thought it sounded really good. So I just want to do a quick little sound test with it. I'm miking up this 1x10 cab with a Sennheiser E609. That's going to an Apollo Twin and straight into Pro Tools with no post-processing or anything. So I've got all the EQ controls at noon, volume at noon, and we'll start with the gain at 9 o'clock and just kind of bring it up. I'm using my STR LJ1, made in Japan, really great LP style guitar with Martin A. Smith pickups, a H90 in the neck, and a vintage style humbucker in the bridge. Let's have a listen to how it sounds. We'll start on the neck pickup for the cleans and switch over to the bridge for the dirty tones. Yeah, not the greatest guitar sound I've ever had, but it actually kind of does an okay Dimebag sort of tone when you have the mids all the way out and the bass and treble and the gain cranked up. the little 10-inch speaker as well is not the best thing if you want metal tones, but it's kind of nice for clean sounds. And you know, it just goes to show how far practice amps have come, where this to me is that classic transistor amp sound. It's got that really unpleasant buzz happening as soon as you get any gain going. Whereas now, I mean, you look at something like the Boss Katana, and that thing sounds just so much more believable and real, whatever that means. But yeah, this is, you know, it's got that transistor thing. It's kind of good for really extreme sounds like crystal clean, and I guess for the Dimebag thing. But if we run it through a 412, which I've got sitting in the other room mic'd up, it sounds way better. And then what I really like to do is use the direct out and run it through an impulse, and I think that sounds even better again. So we'll have a listen to both of those from now. Let's do it. Okay, I've got the head plugged into my 4x12, miking it up with the E609 again, into the Apollo Twin, all the same stuff. I actually think this sounds pretty cool now. Have a listen to this. And I think that goes a lot of the way to showing how much of an impact a good cabinet and a good speaker and miking it up properly really makes to this kind of thing, because it sounded, it sounded like a practice amp through the 110, but through the 412 with a V30, it sounds like a rock guitar sound now. You know, you could easily record that. So yeah, there's a little overview of the Lead 12. We use a direct out next, just going into an impulse I made of the same cab, and I think it sounds pretty cool. And yeah, like I said, it can sort of do those Dimebag tones. Actually, I'll do that while I've got the 4x12 hooked up. What I'm going to do as well is plug an SD1 in, and we will put that guy on the sort of settings I like anyway, drive on 0, level on 10, the tone control at about 1 o'clock, so that guy is now on, and I'll see if I can hook it up and plug it in. I've put the mids on 0, I'll turn the bass up and turn the treble up, and with the boost, and this should sort of be Dimebag territory, hopefully. If that doesn't make lots of weird noises. Let's see if there's actually a sound at the moment. That's pretty funny, actually. While I was doing that, I realized I don't know how to play any Pantera riffs, so I apologize to all the Dime fans out there. Maybe I can do something like this to make... Alright, let's hear it through an impulse now. Okay, I'm running from the direct out. This time I'm going into my Axe FX3 and I'm loading up the ML bulb impulse from the latest ML Greatest Hits, which you can get from the Fractal Audio store. ML do some really great sounding metal IRs, and with those same settings, what have I got? Bass on 10, treble on 10, middle on 0, gain on 10, boosted with the SD1. Ultimate bedroom guitarist settings, you get... Which is pretty cool for if I turn the SD1 off and we go for more of a rock thing, so I'll bring the treble back and the bass back. I boosted the mids at the end there, as you could hear, so... It's not too bad at all. So yeah, the old Marshall Lead 12. If you see one cheap, pick one up. Why not? I think you could really get some stanky tones out of this thing in the studio, especially with the little matching 1x10. It is a practice amp, and if you run it through some sort of pro grade gear, you can get some good tones out of it. But yeah, I really like that bedroom guitarist setting, like everything on 10, mids on 0, super overdrive boosting it, and that would definitely add some grunt to multi-tracked metal guitars. If you were using, Mesas and Marshalls and stuff like that in the studio, why not chuck a Lead 12 in there just for something different? So that is my take on the Marshall Lead 12. Like I said, it was my first ever amp. I'm pretty stoked that I can actually still use it from time to time and get some tones out of it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm Leon. You guys have been great. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, check out my other vids, and I'll see you around.